The difference between 10 years ago and now is profound.
Right now, we're in the middle of a retrenchment, not unlike the end of Reconstruction, where people are having their history, their jobs, their lives threatened.
We realized after the 24 election that people needed to know that they weren't alone, that people needed to feel part of the community.
My first year at the ACLU was in 2023, and that was, I think, the worst year we had seen up to that point for anti-trans legislation being introduced.
As a Jewish person, I know that the first people they go after are the weaker people, the people who have less support, the people who are a smaller population. And then they expand that out.
It is really the ongoing struggle in this country between a government that wants to tell other people how to live their lives, that wants to infringe on our freedom, and always does so in a way that picks on the same groups of people.
I mean, look at what's going on. I mean, people being fired from TV shows. I mean, when was it's back to the McCarthy era that some of us remember very well.
Because as you're talking about all this exceptionalism, what it really means, except for them, these people over here on the side, bearing all the scars of this country's worst impulses.
There's no compelling state interest in the state going after trans people. There's nothing that the state is going to get aside from ginning up their base or whatever.
That was true with the loyalty oath in 1949 and 1967. And it's true with government today.
It's like human rights right now. We're literally fighting for our lives to keep the rights that we have and expand things to become better for the better world.
We need more kindness and empathy in this world, and frankly, we need more of a sense of history, not nostalgia.
I've really been quite surprised at the number of book bannings that have occurred since cases like Annie on My Mind.
Nostalgia is really in the way of this society moving forward in the ways that it needs to.
It's frustrating to see these things, history sort of repeat itself, but it's also nice to be able to look back at what our elders did and what our communities came together to achieve, in the context of queer liberation and how much we've accomplished from 1960 to now, and to see that, that same type of thing can happen with trans rights work that's going on today.
You go to a rally or you try to support good causes or donate to candidates, and it can still feel like it's not enough. Yeah. So I feel hopeful being part of a larger network of people and knowing that I'm not alone.
It's about finding where's my little piece. So once people have more rights and more protections and are civically engaged and are voting, that improves schools, that improves the health system, that makes people want to, they make more money, so now they're spending more money. It improves everything. Everybody wins at the end. It's just having the vision.
And I think the ACLU does a really good job of celebrating the wins because we need that to sustain ourselves, whether we're volunteers, donors, or at the front line as staff members.
I think these are all things that we can articulate in a way that resonates with people, because the anti-moral thing that's coming from the right, you really have to twist your mind to kind of think of it as moral. Everybody has those values. Everybody has learned those values. It's in the culture.
We will always be on the good side of history, no matter how much they try to rewrite it.
It's a very poignant time right now, and it's going to determine who's going to be brave and who's going to kind of give in or give up.
I like to be a part of organizations and movements that are actually trying to run at problems as opposed to dodge them or run away from them.
When a new group of people actually gets those rights upheld, there's always this pushback. And so it's frustrating to see the cycle always continue, but it's also nice to look at history and know these things can be won, these battles, have happened before, and we've come out on the other side, a stronger, better, country, stronger, better communities.
The ACLU of Kansas have been around for 60 years. That's 60 years of necessary work.
There's power in these days because of that work that went on 100 years ago, in being able to say, I'm from the ACLU.
That intergenerational work, the knowledge that you've attained for 60 years, and us being somewhat new and pulling from what you guys have learned and setting a blueprint for us to continue to move in this work alongside of you guys and build and grow. Hopefully we'll be around for 60 years too.
That is why it is so important when groups come together, like a brave group of people in a little living room in Kansas in 1967. That's what changed the world then. That's what changes the world now.